Hey folks, Dante from the World of Dante here. This is actually my request number for my FOIA. It's 1437664-000. Now, hang on. Now, as you can see here, they're saying that they did a request for the regional offices, in other words, the FBI offices here in this area that would have a record in regards to me, and they say they have nothing. And the reason why they're saying nothing is they're in up to their ears with filth and dirt here. They're denying this for many, many reasons, not the least of which everything they've been doing is illegal. They are guilty of conspiracy. They are guilty of character assassination. They are guilty of everything under the sun. They're actually even guilty of a murder recently in my life. And it was done with this technology. And family were saying, oh, I can't understand why he did this. He went out late at night, and then this horrible accident happened. It was a really bizarre thing that he did. Everybody was wondering about it. Had to do with this technology. I was getting innuendos. The first month I was back, in about 3 weeks' time, the agents here communicated to me that they'd do something to my aunt and uncle. And threats were leveled against them. And then in the last, I would say, 6 weeks maybe, before he, certainly the month before he, quote, died here, innuendos, and all the innuendos fit the situation. So that's what I deal with. And of course, my family doesn't believe me. And one of the worst things that agencies do, especially with this technology, is they murder people as a way of discrediting you. It's like them affecting me on video several nights back to do hit pieces, and I finally said, well, that's it. I'm going to speak out about this in video. It sounds incredible and hard to believe, but that's actually what I've been dealing with for years on end. I wrote about it in my first book. My first book was printed in 2011. It's shadow banned at Amazon. Amazon does shadow ban. I exist only if you know my author name or my book title. Hang on. And my books have the truth in them, just like my attempting to do videos here and my speaking about this, quote, crazier stuff. My books were shut down because it exposed agents and agencies and what they've been doing and getting away with. That said, I deal with more cover-ups in my life here, which I'll be getting to, possibly in this video. Hang on. But there is no way of speaking about these things without sounding crazy. As a point, if somebody murdered somebody in your life as a way of discrediting you, what would you do? There is no way to speak about it without sounding crazy. Yet the fact remains that that is what has happened, and I speak about it for a reason. And it has to do with the fact that the people I deal with are dangerous. People in my life do not understand that, they do not realize it, and they don't want to. I had a guy that I worked for last Friday, and he was saying to me, well, you're lucky they didn't arrest you. And I was like, what? I said, I'm lucky they didn't arrest me. I said, they haven't taken me to court, not because they're good people, but because they would be busted if it went into a courtroom. I've got witnesses that contradict lies they've sold to my parents. And to quote friends here. And I say quote friends, but look at this guy. He never bothered asking me a question. He never bothered finding out a damn thing. And then when I try and speak about this stuff, he's been told to not listen. And do you know why? It's so that he doesn't find out what the truth is. It's all one side. It's all the FBI's telling the truth, and that's it. And when I do try and speak out about how they've lied and gotten away with it, it's oh, I can't listen to you. Oh, well, that's brilliant. This guy's ex-military. All he does is salute them, and he thinks they're great people. He doesn't understand that they're just pieces of shit. You can skip the goddamn job title. They don't pick saints and nuns for doing stalking. They pick people who are mentally fucked up in the first place. Stalking involves traumatizing people. It involves character assassination. It involves lying about people. It involves torturing them. There's nothing about it that is good. They don't hire priests and nuns from the FBI to do the work, to do the dirty work here. They hire people with a certain mentality in the first place for doing this shit. It's not hard to figure out. This guy could have done an internet search in regards to gang stalking. You know, I used to look at everybody in gang stalking. I mean, I didn't do a lot of research in regards to the subject because I didn't want to cloud my own perceptions. I wanted everything to be direct observation without tainting things, you know. But eventually, way late, like in 2012, I began looking. And I saw these stories about people being murdered and this and that. And maybe it wasn't 2012, but it was awfully late. I'll have to think about it. But the thing is, I used to think that a lot of these targets were absolutely crazy. And most of them, they don't understand how it works. I wrote about it in my first book. I explain how it all works, even in my second book. And I explain all sorts of things in regards to gang stalking. And the thing is, I understand it. I understand how it works. I understand the psychology. I understand the tactics of agents. I understand that it is agencies involved here, you name it. But when I looked, most of these targets just looked absolutely crazy. I mean, yeah, they're taking pictures of people doing stalking to them. But for everybody else, they don't want to believe it and they just poo-poo it, you know. Most people don't even understand, and when I say this, I mean people involved in the stalking. They don't understand the real purpose of stalking. It's to indoctrinate them and to get their hands dirty for government. That's exactly what it's about. It's also to desensitize them and to get them to put authority up on a pedestal and just to do shit blindly without asking. It's about cults, really. This is about making government cult. They ask you to break laws, to violate people, and for reasons you don't even know about. They lie to the public, and they sell lies to get the public to do this shit, which is rather the point. You know, I do these videos to let people know what the truth is. In the future, I will point people to the videos I did. You know, sorry, my life is too difficult for people to understand or want to believe. But you getting informed and informing yourself, that's your responsibility. It's not the FBI's, and it's not mine. But this shit of people just going along with the FBI without even getting my side of the story, without finding out a damn thing, you can't forget it. This goes on all the time now in the media. And it's a government tactic. They take things out of context. They attack you. They invent stories about you. They sell it as being real and true. And then what they do is they shut your voice off. So it's all just one way. Quite literally what I see in the media is what I've experienced in my life for 30 fucking years. 25 years. And all the shit you see in the media these days, it's in my first book. Why is that? It's based on observation from my life. I'm not psychic. The situation with my ex-girlfriend, and I said she had a post-traumatic flashback in the bedroom. Little news flash for everybody. I'm not psychic, yet she had more years later with other boyfriends. That proves everything. You know? And then take a look at the last video I did. FBI just tried to sell it as I'm a rapist. Why is it that the FBI did not find out? They did not ask. All they did is say, he did it, he did it, he did it. Why didn't they press charges against the pedophile cop? Why didn't they press charges against this racist at 911? You tell me. Who were they defending here? Why am I the one in trouble? I'm the good person in all of this. So you explain to me why they didn't press charges in regards to this pedophile cop and this racist at 911. Why was I told to shut my goddamn mouth? That's an exact quote from an undercover fucking cop. And it wasn't said politely. It was yelled at me. So, I was also mind your own goddamn business. So you tell me who the good people are here. It's not rocket science. When you start looking at what you hear in the media about the FBI being involved in character assassination and lying for their own agenda, I got news for you. That's the way the FBI does all their shit. There are good field agents out there, but the FBI is a filthy and corrupt organization. It's rotten to the core. And I know this based on experience. And, I look at people, family, and friends who've not even done their homework or research. They've not attempted to find out what has been going on in my life. And it's disgusting. And it's sad. It's pathetic. And then family I'm related to by blood. But family doesn't mean a shit in my life. Not with my family here in America. My German family, that's a different matter. Which is why the threats have been leveled at my family in Germany. Both the parents of my ex, who I love very much because they know me better than my own parents here. I mean, that's pathetic. And cats and my girls. And there's a reason why. The FBI communicated to me. I was back for 3 weeks this time around back in America. I was back 3 weeks, and they told me, shut up, and, don't threaten us, or we'll do something to your aunt and uncle. And then quite literally, just a couple of months back, this uncle died. And it was really bizarre that he went out for this late night drive. Everybody was wondering about it, and I was like, well, that was technology, and that's why it stands out to everybody as weird. So, I deal with this shit all the time. And this science fiction hell that I live in, I suggest to people, you look at a video by David Icke. Type in David Icke, the Astral Net. That video is actually based on an email I sent him. And that's your future. This remote neural monitoring, it's not just being used on me. It's being used for monitoring the public. You really think about that. These days, they don't wiretap your house. They wiretap you. You talk about civil rights violations. Hello? And it's all done behind the scenes. It's all done in a dark black room. There's no, where's the paperwork? Where's the legality? The public doesn't even know about this shit. You understand? The whole thing's illegal and for good reason. It's, quote, legal on paper. Well, that's because nobody knows about it officially. The public does not know about this shit. They hear about it here in little pieces and in little lunatic fringe chat rooms and stuff. It has not been publicly acknowledged by the government. If it was, there would be an uproar, which is rather the point. You take a look at my life, you take a look at my books, take a look at a logical guide to seeing and understanding corrupt politicians by Dante Kalidas. 3 words. Kali, separate word, Das. First word, Dante. Take a look. That is why there would be an uproar, because what is being done to my life could be done to anybody else's. Multiple cover-ups. I've been labeled a rapist, and I have dumbasses saying to me, well, you're lucky they didn't arrest you. He said that because he believed everything the FBI told him, and he never heard a damn thing from me. He never even asked. You understand? He just worships the FBI and just put them up on a fucking pedestal. That guy lives in his own little fucking Disneyland. You got to be mentally ill to think that the FBI are good people, the people I deal with, the people doing stalking. There's got to be something seriously wrong with you to not even do your own homework and research and look on the internet in regards to the subject of gang stalking and remote neural monitoring. It is all about fucking torture. It is all about character assassination. It is all about lying. These agents, the FBI sold, well, they're good people, and that's why they're not taking me to court for these lies and accusations of rape. That's bullshit. They never took me to court because it will fall down in court. I didn't even know that they were selling this behind the scenes for the first 3 fucking years. For the first 3 years of stalking, let's be clear. So, I had no fucking idea. Why is that? They haven't taken me to court because I've got witnesses, which proves that I was saying, she's an undercover cop. I think my room is bugged. I think that I'm being watched, under surveillance. And I was saying this to people. Hello? That is why they didn't arrest me and take me to court. That is why. Not because they're humanitarians. This guy didn't bother finding out a goddamn thing. I had a couple of ignorant jackasses at the coffee shop yesterday make sure that I heard them say, well, they were laughing. They're like, well, he's going to get what he deserves or something like that. These agents have been threatening to kill me. Hello? And wait until I get to the CIA cover-ups here. And then field agents can take a look at how intelligent these people have been. Look up the word objective. You are trained to be objective for a goddamn reason. These agents shit-canned their training years ago. That much is obvious. They didn't get this sloppy overnight. Oh, the CIA told us they're not doing a cover-up. Oh, okay. Okay, no cover-up going on. I was there. I was in the middle of shit. But hey, CIA says no cover-up. I guess there isn't one going on. Boy, that's some good FBI agents. Why don't you salute them? Once again, I haven't been able to speak out about a goddamn thing. So those will be my next videos. And I will post pictures of my books here in the video. I'll put it right here at the end. You can read my story. You can read my books. My books are shut down because the truth is in my books. The FBI's real file and everything they did to me is in my first book. It's at it's the last section of the book. It's the last third. So take a look. You don't have to believe me. Take a look at the horror story of my life. This agent has done nothing in regards to finding out what's been going on with the CIA. They communicated to me I only do stalking. Well, you got that one right. Anything requiring real thought is too much of a strain for these agents. And I call them agents because technically they are, but in terms of their performance, they're the worst agents I ever dealt with. And I dealt with many, many different groups of agents. They haven't bothered finding out a goddamn thing. This has been all about proving a viewpoint which they chose to believe based on what the CIA told them. Do you understand? They've made absolutely no attempt to find out my side of the story. Their own fucking tricks are being used on them, and this team of idiots hasn't figured out that much with me pointing it out to them. Because the agent in charge and all of them have a fucking attitude problem. They cannot perform as agents. They make judgment calls based on how they feel, not based on finding out. And that's the truth. They have done nothing but attack and affect me in all my videos here. I had to take a video down that I had up because it was such a mess and because of technology, not because of me. Well, why did you leave it up? Well, tell you what. You take a look at my first book and all of the weird punctuation and all of the weird capital letters and all the weird quotation marks, and you ask yourself how I thought that was a good idea for putting a book out. They affected me into doing it that way and left those viewpoints and feelings on like it's a good idea until the book was published. Later, they took that off of me, and I looked at the book, and I was traumatized. I was shocked. And I was like, holy fuck, nobody's going to read this book. Well, it was real easy to figure out, well, that was one of the reasons why they did that. It was once again to discourage people from finding out the truth. They use gang stalking and tell people to not listen, to not ask questions, to not find out my side of the story, just like this dealt with last week. And the more I think about him, the more angry I am at this guy. He's a, quote, nice guy, but hey, man, the road to hell is paved with ignorance like that. You understand? Blatantly obvious he didn't do his homework in regards to a damn thing. That's not my fault. So that tells me something about him. I mean, that's 2 strikes. Last time I was here in America, I told him, there's a situation going on with the CIA. He doesn't understand that my family and me, we're both in jeopardy here because of the CIA. And he said, I doubt it. And all that because of the FBI. He probably thinks he's cool because he's got contact with the FBI. That's how a lot of people from the public react. Like FBI agents are gods. Why don't you ask me about all the mistakes these assholes have made here? I've been forced into doing these videos. That was stupid. These agents had it made in the shade. They had it made in the shade. And their focus has been on everything but what they should have been looking at. Oh, well, we only do stalking. Stalking is about doing things to the target which they do not like. Well, that's brilliant. That makes all sorts of sense. So that means when I'm in Germany, the CIA continues to investigate a group of agents, CIA agents, who are out of control with classified technology. So in other words, I've got the CIA asking me all sorts of questions about a group of agents I dealt with for about 12 years. Because they're investigating them. They've got a group of rogue agents, and the CIA knows it. And then when I come back here, the FBI doesn't ask questions. They don't find out anything because it's what's needed. That is this agent doing their job. You understand? They don't perform as an FBI agent. They just perform as a stalker. Absolutely moronic. Yeah, just an absolute imbecile. All of them. And because this is one of the recommended things by the CIA. Well, of course, the very people that I have accused of lying and manipulating beyond belief, well, of course, listen to them. I was in the middle of it, but hey, since when do we listen to a witness, right? So that's the kind of egos I'm dealing with here. And as I said to this agent, there's no way in hell you'll ever admit to having made a mistake. You're never going to turn back on that one. Told you fucked up and you got tricked by the CIA. And the ego of this agent in charge, all of them, the team of agents, they just act as a dysfunctional support group for the agent in charge. But based on the ego of the agent in charge, they'll never, ever take a look at that. They'll never double check, no nothing. And I know it. You understand? That's the kind of person I deal with. And yet, I know that there are a lot of field agents that think, well, these agents know. Well, that's absurd. They haven't looked, they haven't checked a goddamn thing. So this says something to me, at least about some field agents as well. So I'll be doing videos about all of this. You bet your ass I will. So that's what the next videos will be about. This is already 24 minutes long. About 25 now. So that's it. Dante from the world of Dante signing off. And stay tuned. Next videos are about the CIA, and this is what I really deal with. This is my key concern, and take a look at how these agents have screwed up when I get there. So that's it.